Get ready, get set. You can already bet. That's right, it's that juicy tea with me, your girl Penn. So, you know that this is a Super Bowl edition. That's right, Super Bowl style, Super Bowl edition, where the Philadelphia Eagles were world champions and won the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to Nick Sirianni and shout out to all the Eagles players for bringing home the Lombardi Trophy for the second time to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk about, oh my goodness, I have so much to talk about because it's been a while since we last talked. First things first, let's talk about that Super Bowl game. First off, that was an amazing game. It was an amazing game because when you watch a football game, sometimes I think we just watch the game and we're like, okay, what's going to happen? Okay, who won, who lost, the score. And then sometimes we get into the whole sports betting thing, if that's your kind of thing. However, this game was like unique. It was like one of a kind because within the first two quarters, the score, it was like 34-0. And don't quote me, if it's a little off, don't quote me. But it was like 34-0. The Chiefs didn't even score. Philly blew them out. Like, I was like, what's happening here? Like, I mean, I knew what was happening because my home team was taking care of business. But I just was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, this is the stuff that dreams are made of. Then by 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and some seconds left in the third quarter, then the Chiefs scored. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But I'm like, come on, Philly. We need the momentum. And they did it. The Eagles did it. So again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for bringing home the Lombardi Trophy for the second time. The second time. Being world champions for the second time. Big ups and shout out. Big ups and shout out to the whole team. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Coop the Gene, everybody. Now, I want to talk about how yesterday at the parade, I'm there, with the fam, chilling, and I'm seeing people hurl cans. They just chucking them. Well, somebody hurled a can at Howie's head. Howie is the owner and the VP for the Eagles. I'm like, what in the world? Then I get like a news link. It comes to my phone and I see the news that he actually got hit in the head with one of the cans that they was throwing. And then I saw when he was talking on the parade steps, I saw like a gash on his head. I was like, oh my gosh, Howie, like, I hope that you get well soon, and he handled it. He handled it like a champ. Like, he didn't miss a beat. He was like, I bleed for this city. So shout out to Howie. Okay, switching gears. I want to talk to y'all about last time I talked about Basketball Wives Orlando. So when I talked about Basketball Wives Orlando, I found a show that is very similar to Basketball Wives Orlando, but different. And that is WAGS. It's called WAGS, WAGS. And it's basically set in Miami, Orlando, Tampa, like that area. So I think it's called WAGS, From Rags to Riches, I think. Don't quote me. But it's on Netflix, and it stars Sherelle Rosado, and that is Ocho Cinco's ex-fiance. Or they might get back together, so, let me say fiance. I hope they get back together. because I think that they make a really nice couple. I think that she's good for him and he's good for her. And in the past, there's been a lot of controversy with him. For anybody who has watched the basketball franchise before, and I'll just leave it there. You do the research to see what I'm talking about. But there's like whole seasons dedicated to people kind of like talking about Ocho Cinco, and I dated him, I'm engaged to him, and oh, he hit me up in my DMs, that kind of thing. So let me get back on track to tell you about Wags. Now, there's like a whole group of women, okay? A whole group of women where they're all different. They all have something like different to offer. And there was an episode where there's two young ladies talking about cultural misappropriation. I won't give you the tea on that because I want you to go watch. Like, I need you to go watch it. I need you to go watch it, binge watch it on Netflix. Just like get the girls together and get some popcorn, get some water, or whatever it is that you like. Get some juice, you know, have the libations flowing, however you need to do it. But you need to get your girlfriends together, your family members, your homegirls, the home team together, and watch this show. This show is a cliffhanger. I could not stop watching it. I could not stop watching it. In fact, I watched several episodes with my cousin, okay? And she and I were sitting there like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Girl, for real? Then I also watched it with one of my best friends from high school, and she and I were sitting there like, girl, this is crazy. So again, I don't want to spoil the episodes, but I want to tell you that it's on the level of Basketball Wives Orlando. It's very juicy. You're not going to be able to stop watching it. Don't say that Penn ain't tell you so. I told you. So make sure that it's nighttime, your kids are put to bed, because it's not for kids. You know, they show their kids on there. You know, it's a family-oriented kind of show, but there's topics or subjects on there that you don't need your kids hearing about. So that's what that is with that. And also, I find it interesting that one of Rick Ross' baby mothers is on there. Her name is Stoney. She has her own boutique. It's $1 million boutique. And I think that she is cool. I think she's like down to earth. Like, I think sometimes on the show that she's misunderstood. And they come at her neck a lot because of her past. Things that happened to her as far as like her suing a prominent rapper that had a beef with Rick Ross and then winning the lawsuit. I'm going to say who it was. It was 50. It was 50. So y'all remember that whole Rick Ross and 50 beef, and it really got critical. It really got hectic. So that affected Rick Ross's baby mom. But if y'all know anything about Rick Ross, y'all know that he has more than one baby's mother. And I don't know exactly the number, because if you let the blogs tell it, the number is high. So I don't know. It's not my personal business. I have no clue. I'm not counting anything like that. And it's not something that I'm up thinking about. Like, that's his thing. However, watch the show. It's crazy. You're going to enjoy it. Also, switching gears, let's talk about the Super Bowl halftime performance. Different people are saying it was about this. It wasn't about that. It was about this. It wasn't about that. So y'all know that Kendrick Lamar performed at the Super Bowl halftime in New Orleans. when the Eagles played the Chiefs. So there's so many different stories about the symbolism behind it. I'm going to tell you like this. Y'all know anything I say, I have receipts. Anything I say, I'm going to back up. When Kendrick does something, and I'm just speaking from observation, I do not know him personally as an artist. When Kendrick does something, y'all know that it has symbolism, it has meaning. Has it always probably been like that? Probably not. However, sometimes when an artist, or whether they're a musical artist or any kind of artist is just starting out, when people start out, they put something out, they create, and then over time, things change. It may not be the same information, it may not be the same kind of style. So, y'all know that right now, this country has so much going on. So if you look at the symbolism and you just take it for face value and you say to yourself, it doesn't mean anything to me, that's your opinion. But art is also what you make it. The art that he created that night was something that was meaningful for him. And he was very intentional with the symbolisms and the colors that he chose to put forth. Having Samuel L. Jackson there was no mistake, because of the symbolism behind him representing Uncle Sam and him talking about some of the cliches that we are faced with as Black Americans or African Americans. I don't know, it was a lot. Like, I'm pausing a lot. I apologize. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in. It was a lot to deal with. But I just want y'all to go check it out for yourself, rewatch it again, and check some of the credible blogs that are talking about what some of the symbolism and things mean. All right, until next time, peace.